Now, EEL and ENCE have to be just as slippery if they want to get through this series intact. Dust2 about to begin. And, well, let's get this one underway.
Here we go. Get ready for the beat drop, everybody. I need you to get off your chairs. I need you to stand up loud and proud. It's Harry and Hugo. And now the lights are flashed in the studio. My goodness, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. That caught me a little off guard.
Yeah, I liked it though. It felt like a nightclub for a second.
I think it was intentional, right? I hope that was intentional.
All the other nightclubs are closed, so we may as well make one of our own here in the studio. Right. And ENCE, they're here to party, Trace.
Talk about just a hard taper into nothing. Like, there was a hype, and we'll bring it back down. A slow pistol around here for the side of ENCE, who will be starting on the T side. Welcome to the ESL Pro League Season 11, everyone. This is the first round of this best of 3. You have picked the most opportune time to begin watching.
ENCE have shown some really slow T-side pistol rounds. I'm thinking back to that Vitality game on Mirage, where their T-side pistol round was 1 ramp, 1 palace, 1 top mid, 1 B-apps. And they just sat and waited for about a minute and a half. And that seems to be a similar game plan here. Astralis, they feel out the fact that this is a B play, and they are correct in their assumption. Grenade towards the back of the plat will find nothing. Magist moves out in the midst of time. Glaive getting a shot out mid, but the flash is good, and Aerial just about gets that kill in response. 2 players on the site. Aerial could end this round on his own, but Magist can do pre, will fire the shots off on the site. I don't know what happened, but Astralis slaughtered them.
That looked like ENCE were actually about to, flood that B bomb site. And then in about, a matter of a second, Astralis have domed everybody. So a very Astralis pistol round there here to kickstart Dust2. They'll go 1-0 up to begin this one. Now, ENCE, Hugo, kind of, drawing off of what you just said, how they have been kind of going for these pretty slow rounds, these pretty slow defaults. That reserved style of play does carry across to their buying tendencies. They've actually taken the eco here in this second round.
Absolutely sensational scenes around here. But yes, Astralis picking up the first round is going to give them some pretty sweet weapons going to round number 2. And boy, do you ever feel spoiled, Harry?
I feel so spoiled. Should we just update everyone on the news that we've received? Because it's great from the ESL.
I feel like I'll take this.
Yeah?
Okay, so obviously given the current climate and the situation that we find ourselves in throughout the world on a global scale, things have had to alter. They've had to change a little bit. And with that, the plans also changed. So the plan is for us to stay in a hotel. Now, what has happened is that's no longer an option.
No.
So now ESL have set us up in one of the most proper-looking locations that I can begin to think of. And I just want to take this time to say thank you while we jump into the first gun round here for ENCE.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be more social media posts from us lot showcasing how ESL have hooked us up later on.
If you want to see where we're gaming, let me tell you, you do want to see where we're gaming, because it's nuts. Do pre up towards top mid, though. Going aggressive, and that's what we want to keep an eye on right now. Alu is holding close. Oh, it's a stalemate. It's a stalemate.
Is he going to get flashed up? Xyp9x is throwing a flashbang. This is going to be perfect, but oh no, I assumed it was coming in from lower. That's actually Device in mid. I got baited. Xyp9x did throw a flashbang, but it was actually on that A site instead. And Sergey has crept up towards this position, right as Astralis have peeled off. With the SMGs up on catwalk, they're not going to be able to take this fight on the long cross. Things could get very difficult. Luckily, ENCE are set up, poised and ready outside of that B site. And as long as they can draw these rotations well enough, Sergey, that kill certainly will. There's only 1 man left on B right now, and ENCE, all they need to do is buy time for this push to come through. Magist has begun a rotation at the worst possible point. Great fake.
This fake is, Astralis, they've fallen for a hook line and sinker. Oh, Magist has gone back. His spidey senses were tingling, and somehow he stays alive there in the window peak. Alu still beginning this rotation. Dupree's still looking for him. Yeah. And meanwhile, over at the B bomb site, Glaive's already in the upper tunnels. This is a bit of a mess. He's getting wrapped onto, but also he's here pressuring the players inside of the bomb site. This round is back and forth. It's messy. It's left and right, and now Aerial has to be the man to try and stand above it all. No. He gets Molotov'd out. Alu, he arrived late, but they're ready for him. And Astralis, they're going to shut this one down. They get that back under control. Everything went pretty much according to plan for the ENCE squad, right? They pull Astralis away from the B bomb site. They get rid of that defense that was there. And I think, you know, Magis doing such a good job of getting that one kill even just to throw some disruption into that round, buy some time for these rotations and keep the pressure onto this B bomb site, turns it all on its head.
Yeah, it looked like Astralis were caught off for a second, but man, the mid-round adjustment to just get back into that B site, Dupree coming in from lower, spots Alu coming late through tunnels and comms that to Glaive, who just tucks in the corner. Great Molotov as well that burns Aerial out from the site, and that is an unfortunate miss. Device very close, but close doesn't quite cut it. Sunny gets that kill and gets flashed into middle. If he capitalized on that, he would have had a free kill. Dupree was blind, but he's been given a second chance at life.
Yeah, Dupree just hanging out in the mid doors. Certainly a point of contention here for ENCE if they want to do anything towards that B site. And they're going to have that option. For the time being, though, up on catwalk, they're going to use some utility right here to create a little bit of uneasiness for Astralis, who currently have 2 players in the site, in both Zipex and that of Glaive. The rotation will be Dupree. He's going to back off of middle. It's going to leave it open. And here we go. We're going to see the slow creep from ENCE out towards Bricks, working towards elbow.
Ooh.
Zipex is going to have to play this from the ramp. Glaive getting the first shots off there onto X7. This defense is so far so well.
Oh, my
Great
word.
flash as well from Glaive. The one that goes over the palm tree. ENCE can't see it because it's blocked by the tree. Zipnik's around the smoke. The criminal himself. Bomb dropped, and he's going to spam it for the final kill of the round. It's a 4th for Astralis. They are making it look easy.
Easy for Astralis. New hashtag for you all.
Playing against Astralis must be like, you know, being a Marine in the Aliens franchise, you know? Like, they just come out of everywhere, bro. Like, they're in the vents, they're in the walls, they're coming through smokes. There's so many bodies inside of that bomb site, and they're just, like, you could see the confusion, right? When Zipnix pushes through that smoke, I think it was Alu that he killed. Sunny was the man in the bomb site, and he's, like, looking at short, he's looking at CT. They don't even realize that Zipnix was still alive over on the Goose side. It's back to the drawing board now for ENCE. They've only got money to go for this partial investment. So they're going to have to slow this down once again and hope that Astralis make mistakes. But that's the scary thing about this new self-learning AI. They don't make mistakes on the Astralis side.
Self-learning AI.
Robots.
You can't spell AI without Astralis. Excuse me, Astralis without AI.
Yeah, there you go.
A little backwards.
Close enough. Well, someone who's going forwards, Dupree. 2 kills, straight in the face. ENCE walking into their death. Finally, Sergey trades, but it's too little, too late. The B site's been lost. Alu, no way he's getting a bomb plant here. Astralis, oh, they haven't realized this is such a good play from Alu. He's delaying it. He knows there's a man in the window, but he's been spotted. One opportunity and not quick enough with the P250. Another round for Astralis. ENCE making these interesting, though. With the exception of that previous round, we've seen some nice ideas from them. I liked that first rifle round where they had Sergey flank out long and set up towards B. It didn't go too well according to plan, with Astralis coming in with a very, very good retake. But, you know, ENCE have shown us a little more tactical diversity than I've seen before on Dust. But we're early days. There's always time for more. And Alu's on the AWP as well. First time we're seeing that.
Yeah, Dupree's actually holding the mid doors here. We've seen a real tendency from, you know, players kind of moving away from this mid position, at least holding it aggressively with the AWP. Dupree, he's still alive. Not the second time around, though, from Aerial. So one of these AWPs has been removed. Magis, he's got a lot of pressure on his shoulders right now. He is the lone defender of this B bomb site, and they are already creeping up through mid. You got to put yourself in Magic's shoes. He has no idea what's going on across the map. He's got so many angles to keep an eye on, and that's asking a little much of him.
Ooh, Device, that's your teammate, but luckily he's just clearing the corner. No one here for ENCE. They're all inside of the site with the exception of a man down lower. That is Sergey, tucked in tight on the angle. He's going to hear the save as well. That's information for ENCE as Device runs up the top of middle. Astralis, they're going to give away a round. And that makes sense. They've picked up that second AWP that was lost in the mid CT spawn as well by Dupree. And so it's a decent save, all things considered. Still plenty of money. We know how hard that B site can be to get back into without the advantage. And Astralis might find exit kills as well, as Sergey's very close to coming around this corner into his own demise.
So ENCE are in the game. Harry, what do you got to say about that?
Yeah, I was going to say, they finally managed to break the curse, right? They get that first round on the board. And when you're up against a team like Astralis, what we've kind of seen from teams of the past is it's that first, you know, breaking of the streak, kind of getting them out of their stride that's the hardest task. ENCE have got one here. Now, with 3 players surviving, Astralis don't really have to invest too much in terms of, you know, getting everyone kitted out in this round. So that's definitely going to help them look into the future. They're kind of the smart things that this team loves to do. They don't really like taking chances on the Astralis side. And you'll see the ramifications that has as this pans out. You know, if they'd gone for that and failed, ENCE could be in a position now where maybe if they win this round, sure, Astralis would have had a bye, but it would have been the reset. And that gets Dodge saving those 3 weapons. The Danes looking to play the long game. And ENCE, the B-bomb site worked once before. They're hoping it works again.
Oh, Magisk dodging the flashbangs for the time being, but the second he peeks, another one pops and he will get popped. Quick AWP shot from dupreeh, traded immediately. ENCE again inside of the site, and Astralis, you've got to make the decision soon. Do we stay or do we go? If they can get a kill here, if they can get a free frag from an overextending ENCE player, maybe they'll consider it, and that could come through the T-spawn. Sergej spots Device on rotation and instantly slinks back to the safety of the tunnels. That smoke will seal the round. There's no way Astralis can go for this one.
They're backing out. Best opportunity, best option, really, to get the hell out of Dodge right here. Holding for spawn, Device going to be post up. So perhaps they can force a few weapons out of ENCE's hands. Ooh. Big flash. Does seem like they don't want to push too far, though. They know that Astralis could be waiting in an ambush here towards the B tunnels. I don't see that ENCE want to pressure that too much either.
Yeah, I mean, if ENCE continue to hit this B site, Astralis are going to have ways to get around it. They are going to start double stacking or you know, hard stacking that site, playing, you know, 2B, 1 mid for a close rotation. But that's exactly the game plan that ENCE have got in the back of their head. If they can condition Astralis to lean towards that B site early, the second you get a long spawn, boom, that's a huge piece of real estate you can take, knowing Astralis aren't going to have 2 or 3 players on long to deal with that. So that's in the back of the mind here for the ENCE folks.
Alu has the spawn over towards this B side of the map. Now, what this could mean is that there's not going to be an AWP looking down middle. They do have a Krieg doing it. I wondered if maybe we'd see Astralis go for some lower tunnels aggression. Now, it would be ballsy. They haven't opted to do it in this round. Instead, they've just gone back to this default of 3 players over towards A. A double setup at the B tunnels. This time, though, there's the difference. dupreeh opening up, takes that initial peek. ENCE, they go for that trade. Do they want to commit any further, though? Sergej certainly does. He's up for the challenge. dupreeh getting him, and not the second time around. He's boxed into a corner there and finally shut down. 2 versus 3. ENCE, though, still a man down. They might have the B-bomb site, but look at that mini-map. Astralis are closing in, and Device is already out through the tunnels. Deegs down 1, and now Sunny, blind as a bat, still able to remove the man over at Car, but he gets put down shortly after. Astralis 6-2 up as they finally deal with the B play from ENCE.
Well, even a blind bat is a creepy one, and right there we did see the fact that, you know what, it's completely okay. Astralis are going to put one on the board, and ENCE are going to look to get back into this game.
Yeah, I respect this jump from Sergej here. I would do the exact same thing. You're rolling the dice, without a doubt, trying to take mid-air shots. But the fact that dupreeh hits that bullet after Sergej lands as well is just obscene. And Astralis, they are going to clinch themselves around on that B site. Again, double setup and ready and waiting. Early smoke, no Molotov for Astralis. They're saving it for later, potentially for that retake. As ENCE, once again, the same default, that upper tunnels control. We got a booster, watch Catwalk, but that's not been a point of contention so far this game. Astralis double long setup as well. So not getting conditioned too heavily here. Leaving mid open, but of course Magisk can spot that from the site. And it's going to take their way towards Catwalk as well. We've got this long lurker, so that does hint towards what could be a standard A split, but with a man inside of the tunnels as well, X7, they can always back off if things don't go their way. Oh dear.
There we go, there's the flash to get Device down. That definitely could have got a little bit dangerous there for a moment. Just using the incandescence of that Molotov.
Great word.
Nice word, yeah, that's pretty good.
That was Mr. Greer that taught me that one.
Mr. Greer.
Any follow-up, Trace?
Yeah,
No,
okay, yeah, I like it. I like
it. It had a real
Just,
Matrixy sound to it
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
guys said it, so Mr. Greer.
Name's Greer. Henry Greer.
that's not the Matrix, but
No. I haven't seen
out through
it.
mid.
Green Pill purple pill, something like that.
Yeah,
Let's see. I mean, maybe they're taking these blue and yellow purple pills, Magis, down towards the back of the bomb site, and Sergey actually just lights up everyone that was there for Astralis. So this round's already over before it begins. Bomb goes down in the closing several seconds.
Yeah, ENCE have been taking their vitamins. Nice execute towards a catwalk. They force the AWP away, and Astralis expecting an A-side play. We were as well, but ENCE throwing in a bit of a mid to B. And again, the fast pace towards that B bomb site, Astralis have got to save. This is sometimes how those games go on Dust2. Just getting bullied on that B bomb site, and you don't want to overstack it. If your two players inside of B can't hold it, that sometimes just feels like just a bitter pill to swallow, because you can't put 3 players inside a B, not off of default, not off to start the round. It just limits your map control so severely. If ENCE have any idea that you have heavy numbers in that B site, they are going to avoid you. But right now, things are working wonderfully for the Finns. 3 rounds on this T side, all inside of the B site.
Yeah, Astralis need to find an answer fast here. They let a few more rounds leak away from them. We're not D12, but this is D2, and with that 2, ENCE will see themselves push up to a 3rd.
Yeah, and you know, this is where, you know, like, if you're Astralis, you're probably thinking, well, they can't just go B all game. But ENCE might want to prove you wrong on that one. Boost over the smoke here, and that's going to net the first kill in the round for Device, but he's not quite ready for Sunny to be so damn close to these mid doors. That's the AWP removed. One of the 2 weapons that Astralis had in this round. They've missed the mid smoke there. And so that's where taking out the AWP has kind of saved them. They back away and leave mid. Instead, posting up over here towards the catwalk, but Dupree's information gathering is huge. That's a nice little detail. Magic is trying to shoot that AWP deep to within CT. I wonder if that's to keep it out the hands of ENCE, or maybe to try and get it in the hands of someone on Astralis. There's no one that can actually get to it yet.
Well, ideally, too, he's doing that to keep the attention on the idea that somebody could grab it from the other side, right? From the A site, rather than him. But here we go.
Ooh. There we go. This is Magisk. He's retrieved that AWP from CT.
Ooh, questioning on whether to commit here. It's a hard question, right? You know that you know, a couple of well-placed shots could win you the round. At the same time, you're armorless. Your teammate's got only a deagle. You don't want to overcommit and throw away the AWP. And so Magis will just save and let Dupree go for glory here. Try and get some kills on that A site, get away with a weapon. But yeah, it's just a bit unrealistic, isn't it? He's going to go watch long for the exit. I'd imagine he's not just going to straight up save this deagle, but...
There's a AWP in T-spawn that he's going for, I'm pretty sure. There it is. So double AWP saved out of this round for Astralis. They're going to take that.
Pretty banging. It's the gun they came into the round with, at least still theirs, and they've doubled it. They've cloned it. There's 2. Electric Boogaloo as ENCE find 4. Finally doing work on this A site as well. So we're seeing a bit of variance, at least in the playbook from ENCE. Not just going for these hard B hits and mid to B splits. But how long will that remain with Astralis getting away with the double AWP? You know ENCE are aware of it. Yeah, I feel like that stat makes a lot of sense. I feel like most players probably have their worst games against Astralis.
Yeah, it does make sense.
Yeah, and I think that's not because when you look at that stat and you say that, a lot of people I think would imagine it's just because Astralis is so sick, but also I think it shows how much effort this team puts into nullifying these like meta positions, right, and really switching up the game. You remember when Astralis exploded onto the scene in the kind of fashion that they did, and they changed up the meta as a whole in terms of utility, really, like in terms of how we kind of thought about it. Some of the damage stats they were churning out at events just seemed incredible. And they've kind of always been in this position where they're very on the, I don't want to say ahead of the game, but they're like setting the standard for how Counter-Strike is played.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, Alu, the fights he's going to be taking most is against Device. Very powerful AWP player, as we already know, and he's going to try and showcase some of that in middle here. Flashed off by Alu. The angle's his, and Device walks right into it. The confident play does not work out here for Astralis in this round. A boost up on the A site gets dismantled. as the smoke begins to fade. Dupree is going to have to hold his own. But actually, ENCE don't look like they want to commit here. They're not too keen on this A site. They could go in for another one of these mid to Bs as well that has been so favorable for them. But with Alu out lower mid, Bomb still up catwalk. It's looking like A after all for ENCE. They've got just enough utility to set up for this cat play. Smoke in the CT spawn to feign a mid to B, but it's only Alu trying to get more position, more ground to fight towards that B site. It's not where the bomb's ending up, though.
Oh, Dupree removing the first. In amongst all of this, X7 and Alu have thrown a bunch of nades over towards this B site. That kept both of these players here, and now ENCE have pounced. They get underneath the AWP and into A, and this whole time, Magisk has been kept over at the B bomb site because of that utility that was thrown in. He had to watch for any players that could be lurking around in the back. ENCE are going to take a fifth, and now they're close to tying this up. You know, it might have been a flawless beginning for Astralis, but ENCE have very much turned this around and started to make this a more than respectable first half.
Yeah, Magisk has been mazooted over towards that B bomb site, avoided, left. I'm sure many people saw that Vitality game just moments ago. 0-18 for the young new addition. Rough start. But he's had some good games so far in the Pro League, so we can move right past it and not hold it against him. ENCE, though, 5 rounds on this T side, very effective. And what's key as well is the rounds that ENCE have been winning, they've been winning cleanly, getting away with a minimum of 3 players. And that's obviously great for the money, building up this cash, getting that AWP in Alu's hands repeatedly. And as we saw in this round, he was able to win that man advantage fight down mid to Device. Good stuff for ENCE. Let's see how much further they can build on it in this first half.
Yeah, quick cat play, Dupree. Oh, gets one, but that is it for him. He's had his fill of fins. There's even more to come, though. Glaive, is he aware that they are so deep? Now he certainly is. He hears the footsteps. He hears them getting closer, and he's going to shut down Sergey. He has support from Long, but Device actually not going deep, is instead going to fall off. They just kind of sacrifice Glaive somewhat. They say, try and stay alive as long as you can, and he's doing a great job thus far. Finally put down. Xyp9x doing a good job of turning the attention away, but look at this, X7 bomb on his back, he's running. So Aerial's been sacrificed as well. It is just back-to-back sacrifices. Aerial still alive, and at this point, if you're Astralis, you're not anticipating this this B bomb site plant. They still think it's A. They're still wasting time over at the A bomb site. Oh no! And now they go, hang on a minute, we've all been here in matchmaking. We've all had these moments where you realize you've been duped. X7 now down to the 1v1. Magisk up through mid. He's made noise, and X7 knows. Down beneath the window, taps him down. And that ends on with a 6th, tying this up, and it is a big dub for X7.
Yeah, sick play from him, right? Finds a trade-up cat, even makes the elective call to just bail from the site. I wonder if someone told him to do that, or if he just made his own decision. And regardless, such a good play. You got to give credit to Aerial as well, right? Getting that 1 extra kill on the catwalk bought so much time. If they fragged him and they realized that there was no one else on the A site, Astralis would have had such a fast rotation towards B, and they would have gotten X7, right as he was getting the bomb down. So props to Aerial.
And this just goes back to the tactical genius of Alu. Obviously, that call had to come through. Really well done stuff there by ENCE. And to get even the bomb down, didn't win the round on top of it. So you can't ask for much more than that now, can you? Get out long in this round. This is where they find themselves. You can say weakened by Astralis. 3 Deagles left alive. ENCE are just taking their time. Still in spawn. It's going to be Alu with AWP.
Yeah, you know, with ENCE throwing all this utility on long, you can see no one's playing behind it. And that is because we have players in spawn trace. We have players waiting. They know these long grenades only bait Astralis into making rotations. And, well, Device has spotted the bomb outside of long. So that's the call right there for Astralis to realize, okay, we can't flank. ENCE are still watching their backline. They're still holding this very slow default on this Antico round, as you should be against the Pistols. And Dupree trying to make a heroic play. He gets a kill. But that's it. And Magisk, again, stuck towards the B-bomb site, avoided by ENCE, at least in this round. And spinning his way towards a save. It's going to be 7 rounds on this T side. Magisk, he may as well go for it, try and get some damage in a gun. But Aerial's weapon is dropped far too far away for him to retrieve.
And this is wild. I mean, ENCE are going to find themselves in the lead and in a pretty commanding spot for the remainder of this half. Now, Astralis looking a little lost as to how to put a stop to this. And that's kind of what we were saying with this ENCE squad. When they show up on the day, especially if they start to build this confidence up, they become deadly. Magis, this is optimistic. He's waiting, hoping that someone gives him something, but Sergey will. Unfortunately, it's not the delivery Magis was hoping for.
6 out of 7 of the rounds ENCE have won have come down to the bomb exploding. That just shows how much they've been avoiding Astralis and getting Astralis to save in these crucial rifle rounds and run away with AWPs. Of course, you know, there have been some rounds where Astralis have got away with AWPs on ecos and the likes, but ultimately it's ENCE showing a really diverse T side and somewhat conditioning Astralis towards that B site early as well. We haven't seen them go there for a couple of rounds, of course, the exception of that X7 play. And yeah, this is a really nice start to the map. 7-6, advantage led in favor of the Finns. And the scoreboard's looking good as well, right? We talk about Sergey, we talk about his drop-off, and I think that has to be, you know, a big talking point for ENCE. We know how well he played under Alexi B. Well, even though ENCE have been struggling, you know, generally in the last few months, Sergey himself has had some of the roughest statistics he's had in his whole career. So it's nice to see him holding his own against the best team in the world alongside Sunny. That's why he was brought into this roster, to get those entries, to show us some style, and they got to continue to do so. This could be a crucial round. If ENCE can get 8 on the board, it will break Astralis' money going into round number 15. This could even be a 9-6 half on the T side. But let's not count our chickens before they hatch.
Certainly wouldn't want to do that. Good on ENCE, though. Bringing it back, giving us the game that I don't think anyone really expected so far. Again, you look at this on paper.
Rush did, actually.
Yeah, well, that
Rush
guy
was one step ahead.
He's quite the contrarian, isn't he?
It's a stalemate. It's the same default ENCE have been running every single time. With the bomb dropped in lower, we might see them slink back towards the tunnels for a late mid to B here as well. Unless X7 brings it towards them. Pressure being put on the B site with all his grenades. He's low on utility. Still a man close in middle. This is a switch up from Astralis. They've typically left mid open in some of these rounds and just had device AWPing on Catwalk. That is instead is being left open. Zipnik's trying to pass information away, but ENCE have not committed towards Cat. There's the mid flash bomb. Going out first though, dangerous, but luckily no issue for Aerial. He gets that opening kill and then set up for another one of these mid to Bs.
Yeah, B has proven to be the point of contact that they wanted to have each and every time. Flashing himself through the window. It's going to be a spill out of it. Dupree's only good for 1. Bomb's going to get planted 2v3. Now, do we see Astralis go for this? Glaive and Device. No kit between them. Some utility. They'd have to get ahead of it right here and early on in this retake.
Yeah, you're going to take a look, right? You're gonna see if a frag is gifted away. If your utility can force a player out, get a 2-on-2, that's suddenly a very winnable round. But with nothing presenting itself, it does make sense to hold your guns. We already talked about the likelihood of this 9-6 half with ENCE breaking Astralis' money on 15. And that's exactly what's happened, Trace. 2 guns saved here for Astralis. 3 players with absolutely nothing going into that last round of the half. They've got loss bonus, but it's a grim consolation.
And that's the thing, you know, like in the beginning, it looked like ENCE, they were just running it back towards the B bomb site and it was working, but that's where I think some props have to go the way of ENCE. You can see the struggle in Astralis because they are switching things up a hell of a lot, right? To begin with, we had Dupree actually AWPing middle when they had the economy to go for that double AWP. Well, that was retired very, very quickly once that proved to be an opening point for ENCE to actually allow those B bomb site plays to come in. Then, as you mentioned, Hugo, then we had the adjustment of Dupree/Device. They kind of switched that up a bit between them depending on the AWP situation over towards the Catwalk position.
That's an interesting stat.
Ooh. But yeah, you know, and so I think over on the Astralis side of things, they're very, very clearly trying to make these adjustments and switch things up, and just none of these changes that they've made has worked yet over on the Danish side. So the pressure's definitely mounting.
That it is, especially in the last round of the half here. You have to give it everything they've got, and they are going to elect to go with the 2 ops. Device 4 and 7. Dupree with the other one, 14 and 8.
advantage certainly eases some of the pain here for Astralis. Taking a man out early on, Device is pushed close towards the tunnels, and he is looking for that aggressive kill. He might just get it as well if he goes any further. Aerial is just playing with timings, moving back and forth around this pillar. Look at how conditioned Astralis are in this round. They've, they've done the smart play of backing up heavily after getting this kill, not giving ENCE any opportunities without ENCE committing to taking significant map control like middle or catwalk. But yeah, 3 players leaning B-side here for Astralis. It makes the most sense. A retakes are certainly not as hard. And dupreeh, he's looking to make it easier. Nice little run boost. Missed shot from dupreeh. Can't blame him on that one, but he is being hounded down. Won't get caught as he gets around the corner. But ENCE still with numbers here. Molotov into the CT spawn to cut off rotations. And we're going to see the full commitment.
Oh, dupreeh tries to leap, hop, jump into that frag. Instead, now he's just going to concede and give up the bomb site, wait for his teammates to get into position. They've smoked this. I was going to say, like they want to try and fight over it long, and they are looking in. They are giving it a go. Now, Sunny is going to come to regret that. Astralis, they're on for the retake, and they've got numbers. They haven't had this for a while, and they're going to look to seize it while they've got it. dupreeh, first kill comes in. Onto the second. Alu gets deleted as well, and there's the hat trick. 4 kills in total for this man in this round. The defuse found, and it's an 8-7 half with Astralis just about picking it up at the end.
Real close stuff right here. Make sure you don't go anywhere. We're going to be looking at the rest of this map when we come back. Dust2 on the cards, ENCE Astralis, and this is the ESL Pro League.
Had a vision, stuck to it, never back down. Never had much, now we on the whole thing. Spread it all around the world, watch it all change. Came alive, now they all see the greatness. Light shine so hard they can't take it.
Dancing with my fear, burning with desire. We gon' take it to the end.
Pushing a little wild life, and when I'm low on fuel, I'll still be running till my back broke. Halfway, lost hope, and I checked it. Hard roads, I didn't think I'd come back fast. 'Cause I was running roads so many nations. Even when it's so sweet, I ended up zero. This is such a ghostly revelation. I may have fucked up all my chances. Been around the globe, looked around, nothing fitted. Seen high and lows, but you won't even get it. Been around the globe, think it's time to admit it's not the end, but the road, and you won't even get it. Been around the globe, looked around, nothing fitted. Seen high and lows, but you won't even get it. Been around the globe, think it's time to admit it's not the end, but the road. I was running roads so many nations. Even when it's so sweet, I end up zero. This is such a ghostly revelation. I may have fucked up all my chances. Fucked up all my chances. I was running, I know. I know. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I call the shots in the man with the plot and we only go bombs away. Ain't no one protecting my mind as a weapon, that's why I'ma dominate. Taking advantage of every second, now I ain't got time to waste. They all tryna sign my name, they want me to sign my name. Counting your blessing while I count that in my winnings. We take 50s and 100s and throw them up to the ceiling. Everything I envision, not everybody gon' witness. Only difference between us is I ain't stopped till I finish. Yeah. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel that you've been distracted. Your best, my average, there's a reason for that's a fact. So they snapping back, mad at the fact that I don't have a backup plan. I ain't need that. Outworking everybody when I relax, so I ain't tripping about none of y'all feedback.
Well, would you believe it? It's ENCE that ring out successful in the first half. 8-7 is where we find ourselves on Dust2. ENCE Esports, the Finnish esports organization from Finland, are looking to take Astralis to the ropes here on the first map of the series. Albeit this was their pick. We're going to go to Inferno next, Astralis' pick. And then we're going to have Overpass should we need to get to the third map. My name being Trace, I've got Harry and Hugo with me. We're just about ready to jump back into this action right here, right now.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to have a behind-the-scenes, behind-the-memes camera shot here of the ENCE boot camp. Yeah. It's not bad at all. We got Twister in the background over on his coach PC, making sure things are looking good here for the side of ENCE. And boy, they are, with an eight-round lead over on that T side of Dust2.
Yeah, it was a bit of a close shave there in the first half, but a couple of bold moves from the ENCE side see them in the lead right now. The GG bet odds roll on in, still putting this one heavily in favor of Astralis.
So ENCE are certainly not maulding right now. That's what we do know. They're not maulding, and that is just what Urban Dictionary told me to believe. So,
but balding, maybe.
Well, yeah, I mean yeah, maybe. We'll keep an eye on it though.
I like the matching haircuts. I think that's the way to go. I think I'm gonna have to shave my hair off here.
In solidarity.
Well, no, not in solidarity.
I stand with ENCE.
Yeah, I stand with ENCE. I do.
Okay. Well, we're going to be standing by just for another couple of seconds. Maybe a player had to get some water, wash their hands, like you should be washing your hands in each and every turn of the day. Yes.
Well, no, you were looking at me when you said it. I just thought you were talking to me.
You're filthy.
Yeah, but no, that's a good bit of advice. Actually, year round, not just right now.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when this goes away, it doesn't mean stop washing your hands because, yeah, it's not the game plan. Just always. Always should have been and shall continue to do so. But we're in, Harry. We're back into the business.
Yeah, the hands are washed, and now it's drying as we get into this second half. ENCE one round ahead as they begin their CT side. And already Catwalk boost gets thrown in. Zipnix gets team knife there. Shout out to whoever did that.
Keck W.
Yeah, over on the Astralis side.
Shame.
I don't think we caught it, but
maybe on the replay.
Somebody's guilty.
Yeah.
And
there will be a trial. Yeah.
Yes, Zipex starting on 20 HP is not ideal, and Alu's going to be joining him down there in the doldrums.
That's a right eye peek, and he gets hit before he even comes around the corner.
That was also Zipnix who did that. And that's risky in and of itself. He's got all this utility. If Zipnix died there, this cross into the A bomb site becomes impossible. You're missing one of the smokes to do it. So Astralis, they're very, very thankful that he's able to get away with the damage. The USP's trying to do something. Dupree fast on his feet, but Sunny's even quicker on the trigger. And doubles up. Sergey's in with another. And this is so close. Zipnix nearly. Not quite though. It's back and forth. It's wild. And ENCE get the round, 9-7.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, they knew exactly what was going on from the start of the round. That top mid push just guaranteed the info there for ENCE with Astralis holding outside of long. And by the point Astralis had gotten up long, ENCE had 3 players inside of the site. On a USP round, that is not what you expect. And Astralis get overwhelmed by the sheer amount of Finns in the water. It's feeding time. And Astralis, they have maybe bit off more than they can chew in this one. Force buy coming through with the Deagles, with the scout. Device not ready for the close player as he gets baited in by the man on the corner. But there is a trade, but just getting one before he goes down. That grenade looks good and smells just as well. I don't know where I was going with that. Dupree gets
the smelly grenade. Yeah. That is one smelly grenade.
A real stinker.
Speaking of which, ENCE finding themselves on double digits. The first one to make it there in this matchup.
Yeah, Astralis. I mean, you know, they're not out of this game at all, but they're in rough territory, right? It's going to be very reliant on their next rifle round, which will, again, come in a round's time because they've got, of course, eco after an unsuccessful force buy gets made very quick work of by ENCE. And I like the confidence trace, something we were talking about coming into this game. Sergey said in that interview, you know, we didn't get a whole lot from him. What we did get is that he seemed confident, you know, cold, calm, and cool and collected, as they always are. But he said they've been watching the demos. He said they've been preparing for this matchup and that they were going to win this game. So let's see what they've got for us. Astralis for this one, just holding off with the Glocks.
Yeah, so one thing that ENCE were really good at doing, and I think that's pretty obvious when you take a look back at the scoreboard on this, is getting those openers and just shutting Astralis, who were on the CT side in that first half, out of rounds before they could even attempt it. And I think that's why for the first, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds that we saw, you know, where ENCE finally started to get back in the swing of things. We had 3 or 2 players surviving for Astralis in every single one. Now, this round's actually gotten close. It was never meant to get this close. This should have been an ENCE round all day. Astralis haven't even left T-spawn. They are still where they began, and they've somehow got it down to a 2 versus 2 with ENCE just... And now Sergey's going for... He's like, everyone else is giving it a go. I want my piece of the pie. But unfortunately, the pie's moved.
That's right, Harry. Mauled and you'll miss it. That is the case here. See the fight take itself into form in T-spawn. Tons of weapons now on the ground, but not a whole lot of more time to work with. Just about 30 seconds for Astralis to figure out how they want to get into this B site.
Well, Sergey's MP9 here on the car should be able to do enough, right? They don't have armor on the Astralis side, so you've got to land this first shot or else it's probably all said and done. And now it's probably... Oh,
okay.
It's not all said and done. It's been said, but this has not been done before. Bomb plant goes in, but not quite. X7 catches Dupree, just showing a little too much there around the box. 11-7, but now the investment comes in. For Astralis, you know, they go into that round with 2 Deagles and the rest of the gang on Glocks. So they are more than happy with that coming down to a 1v1. They would have loved the win. They would have loved the bomb plant even for a bit more money here. But you can see it hasn't hamstrung them that much. They have the AWP over on the side of device. They've got everything they could possibly need. And what this has done is set them up so that if they pick a round up now, they reset ENCE immediately.
Oh, Magisk, he is ready, roaring to go. Fast out long with a flashbang from Zitnix, and he'll take down X7, try to cross towards the pit. That's a big kill for Astralis. And Device is even doubled down in middle as well. Sergey getting killed on that left side cross. We still have an open Alu here, and this could make this interesting, but they are in a very rough predicament. Flashback up Cat finds nothing but a lack of teas as Astralis take their time holding on to this puzzle piece that is long.
Yeah, Astralis, knowing they have full control along here, can sit back and see if ENCE give them any more picks. They've already given up 2 in this round. Gives ENCE just 3 defenders here to try to stop whichever site they plan on.
Oh, what a ratty round from Brave. I love it.
He really is just kind of tucked in there, isn't he?
No B Franks here today for ENCE. Astralis, they know that ENCE are confident and that aggression is you know, a likelihood at a man disadvantage. But ENCE have set up instead for a double catwalk play with the AWP watching that long cross. Now that cross will be smoked. Astralis have 2 smokes ready to go out right now for that position. So Ali's going to have to make a decision here. If he wants to commit wide, he will possibly go down with a cause, or he can just choose to save. That being said, with Aerial finding a kill in the meantime, that has opened up a world of opportunity here for ENCE. Can they secure it, though?
Yeah, Glaive gets the Xbox smoke down and gives them a little bit of room to work with here in terms of drawing attention to catwalk rather than having it on long. Finally, they get into the bomb site, just barely. Does a Molotov keep them from planting? So it should be a plant here from Magisk. And the set up inside of Astralis. Alu finds a frag there on the Dupree with this AWP. And now the retake is on.
And just like that, it's already off. Sunny, he wants to get out of here. 2 teammates have died. That's a dink on Device, but surely he's trapped in this position. The AWP is a 1-shot, and Device only needs a second chance. He'll take it. Astralis with an 8th round on this T side, and that could be the start of something here in the second half. And as you said, Harry, the money for ENCE, it is gone. Zilch. 0.
Yeah, this is where they're really going to feel the ramifications of maybe over-hunting those players back in T-spawn. You know, when Astralis only had the Deagles to work with. There's an old Henry G saying, which is, you know, you can't plant in T-spawn. I mean, not quite how he said it.
You can't plant and connect.
Yeah, his was connected, but it's,
like,
you know, same sentiment. And it's truer than ever. Magisk has opened this round up with a kill onto Sunny. This is the force buy from ENCE. Now, as well as that, didn't even realize they forced. This is risky as hell for the ENCE squad to have gone for it. And they kind of need some sort of result to make it worthwhile. Magisk can't even see. and yet he's still putting up numbers. Alu gone, 9th round for Astralis, no money for ENCE. They should be 10 to 11 in a matter of moments.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I understand the force buy in that situation, right? Obviously, you kind of realize that this is your own undoing by chasing those kills down a couple of rounds prior, but you want to get the money all on level pegging, and it wasn't in the previous round. ENCE had players on 1,400, they also had players with 35, so they wanted to get everyone back down to baseline, and now they're there. $2,000, take it eco, make it quick, mid-rush into the AWP, and then you can get guns in the follow-up round. This is how I like to do my ecos too as well. Just get it done. We don't care. USP's uninterested. Move on. Rifles now. Astralis take 10.
Man, one thing I will say, Dupree, you know, the rest of Astralis might not look so hot as usual in the online realm. Dupree, it looks like he was born here. He is... He is destroying, and he's kind of been that's been like a reoccurring thing in these Astralis games, is it has been Dupree really kind of a head and shoulders above the rest of the squad. And, you know, I mean, we're not kind of used to having just one man on Astralis do the bulk of the work, but hey, he's doing good enough.
What about the bomb, though? They've left it in T-spawn. They've really pushed forward without it. And the one closest to it would be Zipax. He could always reverse back and get it, but... a little bit of an inconvenience, I suppose.
Yeah, so, you know, bearing in mind the bomb is back in T-spawn, I'm imagining this is going to be a B play. Although that said, actually, no, Glaive looks like he's backing out. You can have either one of these players swing back and grab it on the rotate. So Astralis, what they've done here is they've kind of left their options open. They're holding all the avenues of the map. That's mid, catwalk, and the upper tunnels. And also these long doors. And so it's kind of like based on what they saw, based on what they see, and the information they get is how they're going to play around this... this round. Now that, Zipnik's throwing it down into suicide.
Yeah.
You know,
Where's your explanation for that one, Harry?
Someone's got to go get it. I was like, oh, I threw it to you, buddy. I threw it to you.
Matches, I gave you the bomb. What are you talking about? It was right there, all the way up in top mid, right in the bit where everyone dies. It's literally, yeah.
Oh, dear. Luckily, no threats, though. ENCE do have an AWP, but it's on Alu, and it's safely residing on car side here for long. Astralis looking like they want this A split again, and if they go for it, Alu is going to be in the wings waiting to receive. That being said, mid to B smoke coming down. They all drop off Cat. That long flank player is just going to be waiting for the time being. Astralis move through middle, but with no tunnel split, this is entirely where the push is coming from. It's a fake. Sunny, is he sold? Is he convinced? 20 seconds, Astralis have gone back up Cat.
Wow. Really have turned it around right there. Alu's going to be from the car with the AWP. Posted up, trying to give a response. Will be that a device? The AWP there on Astralis. Doesn't seem to have worked just yet. With the time, it's really kind of slipped away. They will get the plant with just 5 seconds. What a turn of events. 1v3, Harry.
Oh, and now a none v3. ENCE are able to get that retake off nicely. Sorry, Hugo, you look like you had something to say.
I was just going to jump in after your point, Harry, but I was going to say no, you don't get to take your point, Harry. I'm going to steal it. Yeah, that's a kind of mid to B fake that only works if you get that immediate kill. When Sunny peeks the window, he spots only one man out mid, and as a result, ENCE go, well, I'm not moving, I'm not rotating. But if Astralis kill that play, if they kill Sunny, and all ENCE know is we've got one guy B, there's a couple of mid players coming out with mid to B, there's 20 seconds left, and maybe Alu starts to rotate and gets caught by that AWP up Cat. Instead, ENCE are able to put up defensive kills on the A site and go in for the retake.
So I didn't even spot, because, you know, we were mainly on Alu there, and he was holding from kind of the crossroads. I didn't see if Astralis threw that catwalk smoke in, but usually that's pretty good at nullifying the effect of the AWP. It felt like Alu had a lot to say in that round, in spite of, you know, usually the AWP is kind of the first thing you try and counter when you go for that catwalk to A play. So, you know, either the smoke didn't get thrown in from Astralis and they tried to dry run it with, you know, 15 seconds left on the clock, and so that round does kind of unravel, or Alu does a stellar job of navigating around it regardless. X7 flashed into the catwalk, only armed with an MP9, and that's the bomb at his feet, but Dupree will be there to reclaim it.
That's a good one-for-one trade, obviously favoring Astralis, but ENCE at least get a lot of info off of that and value out of a cheap SMG. This is a spot for Sergey, and he's been seen. Glaive doesn't want to give this kill away, but he's going to flash his way back in, already past them, and down lower he goes, but he gets caught in the retreat. Sunny chasing him down. Dupree double entry into this A site. He's in 3 kills in this round so far, and it might be enough to drag them over the finish line. Device might have this player mid dead to rights, but Sunny has run right back. He can't decide. Where will he go? Oh my god, yeah, okay, eventually deciding to save, but definitely a question mark for ENCE for a moment.
Yeah, that finish line retreating back into B, they're going to go ahead and just save these weapons because this round is going absolutely nowhere for the Finns. Astralis will put it 11th on the board over towards the A site with the plant. We've seen a lot of patient plays from them. They're really waiting it out.
Oh my
He's
word.
at all. He's really feeling himself. And it shows, too. He's got a 30 bomb, 30 and 14.
Did he take, like, Simple's performance yesterday as a personal attack or something? Because he is really gunning right now to try and outdo it here on the realms of Dust2. Still got a ways to go. But there's always a chance. And see, this is where having someone like Dupree who is able to step up when needed on your squad is so valuable, especially in the second half for Astralis, because they're on this T side. They can have Dupree as that kind of point man, you know, creating the space, leading the charge, and setting up Astralis to win these rounds out. Now, immediately you'll see that he gets down into pit. They set him up to get out, and now he's just going to wait here. The rest of Astralis back away. Dupree holds this very long angle into the A bomb site. And you imagine how many sight lines that shuts down for ENCE. They can't really afford to peek long, especially considering they're only on these pistols. Astralis, they know the money's probably not great, so they're just waiting across the map now, holding every one of these long angles that they can. You know, you got Device over in top mid, watching for the aggression. And that's while the rest of the squad are slowly but surely working this B bomb site.
Yeah, this is a perfect call from Astralis, and they are about to reap the rewards of this round. ENCE are going to get fully baited over towards A if Dupree gets a kill. I mean, they're already there. They're already committed, convinced, and ready to kill. Blood in the water. Dupree smells him. He's already found a frag, been dinked, and he just has to back off. He knows he's got a couple of players there from ENCE. He's not aware there's 4, but he's about to find out the terrible truth of Long losing his life, but winning the round in the midst as Astralis get that bomb down on B. Device is already hanging around top mid to find these exits with the AWP. Very risky, considering he could give this gun away to ENCE, but he's trying to stop this AK from getting saved, and he's done exactly that.
He certainly has.
Ooh. Sonny's arms are not long enough.
Device.
God.
Quite literally playing with fire.
Yeah.
And when you play with fire, you get burned, especially the fire from Sunny. Very, very warm. Zipnix. Well, at least deal with a player at short. It's a 12th round for Astralis. But kind of the mission now, in my mind, for someone, I mean, it can't even really be Zipnix. He's the only man nearby who could try and take that AWP away. But he doesn't want to risk throwing even more into the hands of ENCE, and most importantly, maybe out of the bank accounts of Astralis. They know at this point in time, you know, you're 12-12. This is going to get down to crunch time, the odds are. You know, you're really going to be kind of grinding your way through it, and you don't want to be in one of these situations where you've started to get this game back under control, and then you're slammed down into the realm of no money here.
Yeah, this is, I mean, look at Alu's cash right now for ENCE. If ENCE win this round, I mean, even if they lose a lot of players, they're going to be absolutely fine to continue buying up this AAWP. Alu is chock full of cash, and that's thanks to Device giving it away. A risky one that might not matter in the grand scheme of things, but could, at the same time, be, you know, a nail in the coffin for Astralis. The question is, can ENCE capitalize with this weaponry that they now have bestowed upon them? In middle is Sergey, looking for that AWP fight. Device has pushed him off the angle for now. Just smoking the Xbox, playing it safe, wanting to get up on top of the catwalk, and that's where X7 resides with Aerial, double setup with an anti-flash ready to go, but Magiska's been killed. Sergey finding a shot through that Xbox smoke, and Astralis down a man in this round.
Oh, and X7's push for information gets a lot for ENCE. You know, with mid now clear, the options for where Astralis can be is fast kind of running out, and ENCE have a good vision, a good scope on what's going on in this one. You can already see they've set up with 3 players to keep an eye on this cross. Aerial moving away from his catwalk aggression, setting up inside of the bomb site. ENCE, they know, they've read this one well.
Yeah, Astralis don't know that ENCE know where they are, though, so they are taking a lot of time with this round, hoping that ENCE are quaking in their boots. But a man down. It's a difficult road for Astralis. Up long they go. 30 seconds now. Aerial's waiting for those players to come up the ramp. Alu, AWP in CT spawn. Not a great position for that weapon, but he can back off and just play for the retake. Molotov going up on top of the site. But time really is one of the question marks here for Astralis. Great utility. At least Glave's Lurk only finds damage, and damage is not enough in this round.
Man.
It's kills all for ENCE's Device. He may as well slink back into long, save this AWP for a rainy day, but they are chasing him from the back lines.
They certainly are gunning for this AWP. They do not not want Device to take it in the next round. And ENCE are going to be taking this round. Really good show of force there as they're able to hold on to site control of A. I'm not going to pressure him for this AWP. Perhaps due to the current situation of the game, being that ENCE find themselves ahead 13-12.
And it was the money game that put them in such a good spot in the T side as well, constantly forcing Astralis to save, constantly forcing them onto eco. ENCE, every single round that they won, they had 3 or more alive with the exception of a single round, and that was X7 winning the clutch down on B. So yeah, again, 5 alive in this one. Huge benefit when it comes to the money. Alu already had 4K in the bank from that free AWP that was gifted over a couple of rounds ago. And ENCE are in a very good position in this opening map. It is their pick. And we can see why. They've been doing their homework.
I mean, that's the thing. Even if you think back to ENCE's game versus Vitality, they go 14-16 on Dust2. Only to lose it there as we approached the ending stages of that map. So hopefully history doesn't repeat itself here for the ENCE squad on their map pick in this series.
Oh dear, there's only a solo B player. This is the right round to hit B if you're Astralis, but it is Sergey. He could line up multiple kills. Just pivoting on the box, one already in. The second player pushed really far up. Sergey doesn't realize, but he didn't go back for the peek and it just tucked. And the Molotov is fantastic from Astralis. They show patience inside of this B site. They don't rush down the AWP. They deal with him with grenades. And the bomb getting planted. ENCE, again, one of those situations where if you don't get a quick free kill that goes untraded, you do not go for this round, even with the money in a good spot. So they're going to fall out of this one and save these weapons for a rainy day.
And that rainy day tends to be this back and forth game we have ahead of us. 13-13 now.
When it rains, it pours.
That's true. And I think it's raining outside currently. So there's that, Hugo.
We're soaking, Trace.
See, Dust2 is like a big inferno in the sense
Okay,
that...
yep, that's a right.
This is a great point. Yeah, I'm waiting.
Just in the sense that, you know, if you lose a bomb site on a map like this, it's very, very hard to convince yourself to go in for those retakes. And so as we see a lot on Inferno where you are, especially if you're like a B site player, forced to save in a lot of these retake scenarios, it kind of cripples the CT side if these opening kills don't go their way. And we saw Astralis suffering with that in the first half. ENCE now kind of in that same position. All tied up heading into round 27. And obviously, you know, I said Dust2 is like a big Inferno. Inferno's the next map, which is like a regular-sized Inferno.
Or a small Dust.
Yeah, or a small Dust, actually.
I'm actually super excited for that map. I mean, this one's already delivering, but Inferno's such a fun map to watch, you know, played at the highest level. And, you know, these two teams are really going to bring the heat on that one, as you would expect. But the sun in the sky right now for... well, we'll have to find out. I don't know who's going to be the happy one after this round. We have a heavy B setup for ENCE, so maybe them. 2 players here and 1 outside of the doors, like 7 waits to pounce. That smoke thrown in will halt things for the time being. It's a stalemate. Pressure being put on middle. It's only a solo or a one-man lurk. Device on the AWP doing it again. Dupree's gone through a smoke. They're not ready for it. Absolutely no clue as ENCE get decked inside of the site. The X7's got to do it all. The Molotov not in the window yet for Astralis. They've got utility to do so, though, and ENCE are now going to be forced out of the bomb site. It's going to be a plant hit for Astralis and another one of those difficult calls that ENCE have to make.
Oh, they're spraying through. They've done so much damage through this smoke. They're not going to know that, however. They need to get a kill, and they got to get one quickly, and with that kill found onto Aerial, ENCE, they might have to save. They're still floating around, they're still looking in, but nothing is presenting itself on the Astralis side. Glaive here's one running away. And oh, if he can shut down these players, that would be huge. ENCE are going to have so little to work with if this all doesn't get away, and it doesn't. They will be able to bring one out in this next round, but it's going to come with limitations. Alu, I think, he's got exactly enough to go for just body armor and the AWP if he wanted to.
We had that stat that, you know, Alu has his worst games up against Astralis. We mentioned how, you know, okay, it makes sense, yeah, but he is 8-18. The proof really is in the pudding right now.
They've taken a partial investment here.
I respect it from ENCE, right? The money wasn't great. As you said, the AWP was available, but Sergey would have had to drop it, and he would have had no utility as a result, or very limited at least. So, yeah, ENCE playing for overtime. going the distance. And against Astralis of all teams, willing to fight for OT, I mean, that's a ballsy call, but I want to see if it works out. It might. Even in this round, Aerial with a D gets traded quickly and swiftly. Magisk is snuck out through mid, and they're going to look to flash their way back into a fight. Does blind Magisk, but he has a corner to hide in, a cubby to hole up on. And Device waiting for this cat push might get rewarded. Top of the head, he sees it, jumps on his teammate, but doesn't get the shot off as ENCE creep into A. Astralis, he's still got a man outside of long holding with the bomb. So, you know, no commitment here, no rush. And you know now that ENCE are working on pistols. So if you're Astralis, just slow it down. Take a deep breath.
Wow, they've slowed down and deep breaths have been taken. Magisk rotates away from B, but in that exact moment that he did, ENCE went aggressive. They get the information, and now they know that Astralis are over here on the catwalk. Bear in mind that Sunny is all the way in T-spawn. That's something that could play into this a little bit later on. He sees them going down through mid, tries what he can with the deagle, but it's just too far. And now X7 falls over in middle. Alu's followed up onto. And they know that Sunny was behind enemy lines, so they go and root him out. Astralis 15-13. And ENCE, they take a partial bye in that last round to give themselves the best chance of success here. They've got everything they could possibly need, and they're looking for overtime. We just had the stat there, X7. I think it said he's won 3 1BXs thus far for the ENCE squad.
That he has. You're certainly spot on here. All the money invested in the world for ENCE. They want this map. They know that this series does not get any easier if they lose it. Trying to get out mid fast is the pre. He's going to catch a considerable amount of damage. Finds himself on 15. Now with the AWP in middle, holding on tight. Pretty standard setup here in the beginning stages of this round from Astralis. Spread between mid, holding the long push just barely. Now a waiting game.
Yeah, I mean, and as these rounds have shown us, this first kill can really decide everything. At least that's what it's felt like all Dust2 long. And so who is going to give it up first? Well, there's our answer almost immediately. Alu, though, going to get caught going aggressive into mid. A bit of a gamble, and oh no, that gamble, they hedged their bets, and that might have cost them everything, because suddenly we're into a 3-on-3. Thankfully, Sunny has helped out somewhat there by removing Glaive, not allowing Astralis to get a foothold in this B-bomb. It's like that whole round should have come to a close had Glaive won that engagement. Sunny's still alive. Oh, not for long, though. Device deals with him. Aerial, X7 now, just X7. He has won 3 1BXs. He needs another one on that tally in this 1-on-3 up against map point for Astralis. X7 shut down on the peak from Device, and that there